Anita, a stunning young lady with flawless makeup and a designer dress, sipped a glass of red wine as soft jazz music played in the background. Her phone buzzed repeatedly. Wealthy uncles and Lagos sugar daddies checking in on their golden girl. Her girls, Tasha and Kiki, giggled as Anita showed them a sleek car key. Kiki exclaimed immediately, Range Rover Vela? Na wow! Anita, you sef gone. Wetin you dey give dis men chop? Like wetin you dey put for dis your soup wey dey sweet? Anita flipping her hair, abeg na grace oo, na grace oo, na God oo. No be my fault say dey like me. Maybe na my destiny. Me, I no even like any of dem. My own na money for hand, back for ground, show go show. Hey, Anita, Ashawo dey be person destiny. Abeg, dem all laughed. Anita lived in luxury, five-star dinners, shopping sprees, and vacations. Anita was a goddess in Lagos, a queen of the night, shimmering under the city lights. Men worshipped her, and she knew it. Expensive cars to the sparkling diamonds. Her life was drenched in luxury, all funded by powerful men who craved her presence. She wore confidence like a second skin, her laughter echoing through high-end restaurants. Her name whispered in the most elite circles. But beneath the silk dresses and red-buttoned heels, there was a girl who had endured the harsh realities of life. She wasn't born into this. Anita's family had nothing, not even hope. Her father, once a carpenter, has grown fragile after years of struggling to provide. Her mother cleaned people's houses, yet they barely survived. As the eldest child of four siblings, Anita became their lifeline. She had to be strong. There was no other choice. She remembered the night she slept on an empty stomach just so her siblings could eat. The morning she scrubbed floors while her classmates attended lectures. At 17, she dropped out of school. At 18, she buried her father. Then she made a choice. She came to Lagos. It was supposed to be temporary, a chance to find a better life. But Lagos devoured her innocence. The city introduced her to men like Chief Benson, Senator DK, and Mr. Bayo. Men who didn't ask questions, they gave her money. And in return, she played the perfect role. Survivor. That is what it is. Anita knew poverty like the back of her hand. Growing up in a one-room apartment with parents who barely made ends meet. She then became the provider at a very young age. School fees for her siblings, hospital bills for her sick mother. Anita handled it all, and the weight of the responsibilities threatened to crush her. Then she swore one thing: I will never suffer again. The clock had barely struck midnight. The air was thick. The road was unusually quiet. Only the distant hum of trailers speeding by echoed in the night. Anita had just left a high-class party in Ikoyi, a party where champagne flowed like water and money sprayed everywhere like paper. She leaned back into the soft leather seat of her white Range Rover, her freshly manicured nails tapping on the steering wheel. Afrobeat music bumped from the speakers as she sped down the lonely road. The city lights gradually faded, leaving nothing but darkness. Only the soft glow of her headlights. But then, bang! Her car jolted violently. The steering wheel stopped. What the hell? She muttered, panic flashing across her face. The dashboard lit up like a Christmas tree, red warnings blinking furiously. The car groaned to a stop. She slammed on the brake, her breathing quick and uneven. Gripping the wheel tightly, she stared at the empty road ahead. Not now. Not here. What is this now? Her shaking fingers pressed the ignition button. The engine coughed but refused to come back to life. The once powerful machine now sat lifeless. The night swallowed her in its heavy silence. No cars, just her. She checked her phone, no signal. Network bars stared blankly at her. She hissed, stepping out of the car. The soft click of her heels echoed in the stillness. Her phone flashlight beamed through the darkness, illuminating the sleek silver rims of the flat tire, a deep puncture, completely useless. Oh God, she spat, frustration dripping from her voice. She stood there, hands on her hips, contemplating her next move. But just as she turned, from the corner of her eyes, she saw them, two figures emerging from the shadows, ragged clothes, shifty eyes, the type of men mothers warn their daughter about.
Auntie, e be like say you get small wahala.
One of them snarled, his rotten teeth glittering under the faint street light.
See this fine babe oh, you just dey alone for here.
The other one added, licking his lips. Fear gripped Anita's throat. She stepped back, but they stepped forward.
Oya, bring your bag, no make noise. Your phone too, dey bring them na as you dey tell you, no make noise, if not we go wound you. You know say you too fine, make we no slap you for here. Dey bring am codedly.
Her heart pounded wildly. She clutched her hand back tighter. Every muscle in her body screamed run, but her legs betrayed her. I don't have anything. I don't have anything. Please just let me go. I don't have anything. She lied, trembling.
You dey craze. See as you dey shine like money. You wan tell me say you no get anything? No let me use, I go drag your back, I go slap you.
The taller one reached for her violently. She jerked away, but he grabbed her arm. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. She cried, her voice cracking. But just as the panic was about to swallow her whole, a voice thundered through the night.
Leave her.
It wasn't just a voice, it was a roar. From the shadows, a figure emerged, tall, broad-shouldered, with rough hands that had known years of labor. His face, partially shadowed, revealed stern, unyielding eyes. The man froze.
Wetin concern you here? Oga, mind your business so no we no run you now.
But the stranger didn't budge. Instead, he took a bold step forward, his voice low and dangerous.
I said leave her. I don't make I gather you now.
The air cracked with tension. For a moment, nobody moved. Then, as quickly as they appeared, the men blotted into the darkness. Anita stumbled back, grasping for her. You dey okay? The stranger asked, his voice softer now. Her chest rose and fell, but she managed a nod. Thank you, she whispered, still shaking. He offered a reassuring smile. My name na Zadi, but people dey call me Stanley. Na mechanic I be. You get luck say I dey pass. These boys for run you street o. A mechanic? Anita's eyes flickered with curiosity. Your car no good o. Your tire don spoil. You get spare tire for your motor? Or make I help you tow am to my shop, make I fix am in the morning. With no other option, she agreed. No worry, I go fix am. Make I call cab for you wey go carry you go house. I go call you in the morning, make you come carry your car. By then, I go don repair am for you. Let me put your number for my phone. Anita, quite confused, then agreed. Something about him seemed unsettled to her, not in fear, just in curiosity. Thank you, Stanley, she said softly. Okay now, we go see later. Make I help you call cab. At night, as Anita lay on her king-size bed, her mind replayed the scene. The breakdown, the thieves, Stanley. His voice echoed in her thoughts. I am Stanley, a mechanic. The following morning, Anita pulled up in the mechanic shop in a cab. The sun was hot, and the air smelled of grease and burning rubber. Stanley walked effortlessly, his hands buried deep in the engine of her car. He did not notice her at first. She stood there watching, the sweat dripping from his face, the careful movement of his hands, the way he occasionally paused to examine his work. Your car don dey ready o, he finally said, wiping his hands with a dirty rag. How much? He shook his head. No worry, madam. You don try o. You don go through a lot yesterday night. I dey pity you. Just carry am dey go. That alone struck her. No one has ever did anything for her without expecting something in return. And here it was, no demand, just kindness. Why will you do that? You don't want money? Stanley shook his head. Madam, everything no be money na. Na me do this one for you. Just carry am dey go. Na dat small thing I don fix am. Carry your car dey go. Her words threatened to crumble, but before she could say more, his phone rang. He answered, spoke briefly, then turned to her. Madam, no vex, I get outside work now. I go see you later. Make I rush go do work for person. Just like that, he left. Days passed, but Anita couldn't shake off the memory of Zadie. Every time she drove through the city, the image of his protective kindness haunted her thoughts. But her pride was far greater than her gratitude. Reminding herself the reason why she came to Lagos, the family responsibilities that hung on her shoulders. She's not here for love, she's here for survival. One day, her car, the silk black SUV one of her sugar daddies gifted her, started acting up. She had other mechanics on speed dial, but without thinking, she scrolled to Stanley's number. Hello, good afternoon, she said, trying to keep her voice casual. Anita, now you be this. This one wey you call me today. You don't tell. It's my car. It's making some weird noise. I thought maybe you could come check it out. I'll send you my address. Okay, send the address. I go come there in 1 hour time. Then it became a pattern. Whenever the car made the slightest noise, she called him. If a dashboard light blinked, it was the first person she thought of. Slowly, the visit increased. Not that she didn't have the means to replace the car entirely, but she didn't want to. Or maybe she don't want to lose seeing his face every day. Each time he arrived, Daddy carried the same calm demeanor. His presence filled the air with something unfamiliar, something she refused to name. She would watch him through the window as he walked, his tuned arms tightening both, his face in concentration. He was a man of purpose, and that intrigued her. But what confused her the most was the way he spoke to her. No flattery, no manipulation, just genuine care. He smiled when she laughed, and when she tried to act cold, his warmth never wavered. Anita was falling, slowly and painfully. It was on a particular hot afternoon. Stanley has just finished fixing a minor issue. He wiped the sweat from his forehead and turned to her. Madam, I don't do finish you. Thank you, she said, her eyes lingering on him longer than intended. Stanley hesitated for a moment. She could see something flicker in his gaze, something he had been holding back. Anita, he began, his voice low. I know say I no supposed to dey talk this thing wey I wan talk now, but they say if you see good thing make you talk am. E dey good make person talk wetin dey for im mind, but make e come be say the thing no come align. Abeg, I no fit keep this thing within myself again. Her heart pounded. I love you so much, Anita. Forget say I be mechanic o, but I like you. Her lips parted, but no words came. Every time wey you dey call me say make I come repair your motor, e dey sweet me o. The truth be say I dey think about you every day. Na so I go leave other work dey run dey come make I come fix your motor. I know say I no get money o, and I no be your class, but you see this my heart, I love you so much. The silence grew thick. Anita paused raised. She wanted to stop him, but his words poured like a flood. Then he stepped closer, searching her eyes for any sign of acceptance. But all Anita could feel was fear. Fear of the unfamiliar, fear of losing control, fear of the painful memories of her past. Excuse me, do you think love will pay my bills? Do I look like your class? She spat, her voice trembling. You think because you stand here with all your sincerity, you can change my life? Can you even afford my skincare? I have struggled. I have sacrificed. And I won't throw it all away for a broke mechanic with an empty word. Leave my house, she said. Stanley flinched, the pain flashing in his eyes, but she didn't stop. You are beneath me, Stanley. You're a dreamer, a mechanic. What even gave you? You must be so courageous to stand in my presence and say all this nonsense. Do you know who I am? Have you taken a good look at me? Do I look like someone you can afford? Please, I can see that you're a dreamer and I don't have time for your dreams. Get out of my house. The words stung her as much as they did to him, but pride couldn't let her stop. And, excuse me, next time you come here to fix my car and go. Don't ever mistake my calls for anything. Your job is to fix cars. You're a mechanic. That is what you are, and that is what you remain. Stanley jaw tightened. He gave a short nod, then walked away without another word. But as Anita watched him disappear down the street, her chest ached. She wanted to call him back. She wanted to apologize, but it was too late. And for the first time in a long while, she hated the woman she had become. Days passed, then weeks. Anita tried to push Stanley out of her thoughts, but the memories lingered. His voice, his touch, the way he looked at her like she was more than just a beautiful face. But as she sat in her luxurious apartment, surrounded by all the things money could buy, the emptiness within her grew louder. Her sugar daddies still called. They sent her money, bought her expensive gifts, and took her to the finest places in Lagos. Yet, every lavish dinner, every vacation made her feel more hollow because no matter how much she tried to pretend, her heart had been shaken. She found herself driving down that familiar road. She didn't know why. Maybe she told herself it was just a coincidence, but deep down, she knew it wasn't. Every afternoon, her black SUV would creep to a stop across the street from Stanley's modest mechanic shop. She would lower her sunglasses, lean back into the plush leather seat, and watch him. Stanley walk with a steady rhyme, his hands stained with grease, his muscles flexing beneath the sun. The sweat that rolled down his forehead wholly highlighted his rugged beauty. He laughed with customers, joked with his colleagues, and moved with a confidence that made her chest tighten. He had no idea she was there, and yet each day she returned. Anita hated herself for it. What was she doing? Stalking a mechanic like some hopeless teenager. She was a big girl, a Lagos big babe, independent, wealthy, and desired. But none of that mattered to her whenever she saw him. She told herself it was just curiosity. Maybe she wanted to confirm if he had moved on, or that he had found some local girl who would appreciate him. But every time she saw him alone, her relief brought more confusion. Why can't I stop? She often whispered to herself, gripping the steering wheel. The worst part was how he haunted her mind. Even in the company of her lovers, her thoughts wandered back to Stanley, his gentle voice, the way he called her name, the raw sincerity in his eyes that day he confessed his feelings. You have no business thinking about a broke mechanic, she reminded herself. It can't offer you the life you want. But the heart was a stubborn thing. One afternoon, as she sat hidden behind a tinted window in her car, Anita had skipped when she noticed something unusual. Stanley stood outside the shop, hands on his hips, scanning the street. Her breath caught. Did he see her? No, it's impossible. The car was parked far enough. Still, his gaze lingered in her direction, as if sensing something. Then, to her horror, he crossed the road. Anita froze, her hands trembling, but it was too late. Stanley approached, his footstep firm, but before she could react, he stood at her window. Anita, his voice was calm, but there was curiosity in his eyes. She rolled down the window slowly, her heart pounding. What are you doing here? She stammered. He smiled faintly. Na me go dey ask you wetin you dey do here. Every time na I dey see your car dey park for here. Wetin happen? Any problem? She searched for a lie, but none came. The truth was written all over her face. I was just passing by, she mumbled, avoiding his gaze. But Stanley wasn't fooled. Every day. Na every day they come here. Oh. Anita, you dey always dey come here dey watch me. Wetin happen? You get anything wey dey miss for your house? I no dey thief. I no thief anything for your house. If you get anything wey be the problem, tell me. She opened her mouth, but no word came. How could she explain the war raging within her? The constant battle between desire and fear. I, I, I don't know. I'm sorry, she whispered. Stanley's eyes softened. He didn't mock her. He just nodded. When you're ready, are they here? They wait for you. And with that, he turned and walked away, leaving Anita drowning in the confusion of her own heart. Days turned into night, and Anita's longing only grew stronger. She fought it. She reminded herself of the reasons she rejected Stanley: the poverty, the fear of suffering, the responsibilities that hung heavily on her shoulders. But the truth stared at her. She loved him. She loved the way he smiled, how he found joy in the simplest things. Most of all, she loved how he saw her, not as a prized possession like her sugar daddies did, but as a woman with a soul. She could no longer deny it. I have to tell him, she whispered to herself, her hands trembling. That morning, Anita dressed carefully. She wanted to look perfect, not like the glamorous doll her wealthy lovers adored, but just herself, vulnerable, honest. A simple dress hugged her cuffs, and her face was bare, except for the soft lip gloss on her lips. It deserved to seal the real me, she told herself. With determination, she drove to the mechanic shop. The closer she got, the faster her heart pounded. But as she approached, her face fell. The shop was closed. The large iron gate was locked. A sign hung loosely on the gate, closed until further notice. It read. Anita's chest tightened. What happened? Where is he? She parked her car and stepped out. The midday sun burning against her skin. Anxiety glowered at her as she looked around. The once bustling workshop was lifeless. Across the street, an elderly woman sat beneath a tattered umbrella, selling fruit, peeling oranges. Anita rushed to her, her voice trembling. Mama, good afternoon. Please, do you know what happened to the mechanic here? Stanley. The woman's face lifted up at her, pausing her peeling. Ha, my daughter. You mean Zaddy? Are you looking for him? Anita nodded desperately. Yes, ma. Do you know where he is? Have been seeing the shop locked for days now. The woman sighed, shaking her head. It had been almost 3 weeks now. He has not been feeling well. They said it's fever or something, I don't know. The boy worked too hard though. You know he never rests. Maybe his body has finally protested. 3 weeks? Anita's voice broke. Where? Where does he live? The old woman hesitated, studying Anita. She had seen her before, parked across the road, eyes always fixed on the young mechanic. You care for him, don't you? Anita swallowed the lump in her throat. Please, Mama, just tell me where he is. The woman gave a small nod, pointing down the road. Follow this street. At the third junction, turn left. You will see a big mango tree. His house is the small one behind it. You can't miss it. Thank you, ma. Without wasting a second, Anita jumped into her car. Her heart pounded as she navigated the narrow street, past crumbling walls and stagnant gutters. The sharp contrast from her luxurious world pricked her senses, yet she barely noticed. All she wanted was to see him. When Anita finally arrived, her hands trembled on the steering wheel. The house was small, a faded green building with rust zinc roofing. Children ran barefoot, laughing as they chased a ball down the dusty street. Women sat on low stools, peeling cassava while exchanging gossip. This was Stanley Ward. She stepped out, the hem of her dress brushing against the sandy ground. Eyes followed her, curiosity and whispers trailing behind her. She ignored them. Her focus solely on the fragile wooden door ahead. Taking a deep breath, she knocked. No response. She knocked again, louder this time. Finally, the door creaked open. Here it was. Stanley stood before her, his eyes dull. His once vibrant face was pale, his face slightly leaner. A faded t-shirt clung on his chest, and sweat lined up on his forehead. Yet, even in his weakened state, his presence made her heart race. Anita! His voice was shocked with disbelief. Tears welled in her eyes. Stanley, Stanley, I'm here to see you. He blinked, trying to understand. But how you take I asked around. Your shop was closed for weeks. I was worried. He stepped aside, gesturing for her to come in. The room was small. A single fan hummed softly in the corner. A simple mattress lay on the floor, and the walls was bare, except for an old calendar. Despite the modesty, the space was neat. I no know say you go fit come here o. I shock o, he said quietly, lowering himself onto the mattress. Anita knelt before him, her hands trembling as she touched his face. I couldn't stop thinking about you, Stanley. Every day I watched you from across the road. I thought I could stay away, but I couldn't. I love you. His eyes softened. Why? Anita, after everything, I think say you no like me. Tears rolled down her cheeks. I'm sorry. I'm sorry it took me so long to realize it. I'm so sorry. But I love you, Stanley. Stanley cooped her face, his thumb gently brushing away her tears. I don't love you since the day where I see you for that road. That even make me save you from those boys. So I don't like you since that day. But Anita, you dey sure? You dey sure say you go fit live this life with me? I no get motor o, I no get money, I no get fine house o. Na like this, as you see me like this, you don see me finish. You see this my house. As you dey see me like this, my sister, you don see me finish. I no remain put for anywhere o. I no get money. She nodded firmly. I no get money. I no get anything. Na like this I dey, he said. Anita nodded firmly. I don't care about any of that anymore. I care about you, Stanley. And for the first time, Stanley pulled her into his arms, holding her like she was the only thing that mattered. The burden she had carried for so long lifted. Days turned into weeks, and Anita's presence in Stanley's life became his greatest joy. They were an old pair, the elegant city girl with a taste for luxury and the humble mechanic from the ghetto. But together they found happiness that neither money nor status could offer. Anita no longer cared about who saw her at Stanley's side. Every morning, she would drive her black SUV into his neighborhood, ignoring the curious stares. The once judging eyes now gleamed with admiration. People whispered about the beautiful lady who had abandoned a lavish lifestyle for a local mechanic. But Anita did not care. Stanley's laughter had become her music, his gentle kiss, his soft and unwavering love, her anchor. She found herself spoiling him, and not out of guilt or pity, but because it made her heart swell to see him happy. Expensive sneakers, designer jeans, and brand new tools for his workshop. She even paid for a complete renovation of his small shop, painting it a fresh sky blue and fitting it with new equipment. You don dey turn me into Lagos big boy o. Stanley often tease, flashing his signature grin. You deserve it, she will reply, placing a gentle kiss on his cheek. Despite all the gifts, Stanley never once made her feel like an ATM. He still worked tirelessly at his shop, often refusing the money she offered. His pride wouldn't allow it. One day I go build house for you, Anita. E go shock you. He often said, one day e no go just be say na you go dey give me money, na me go dey give you money, you go see am, e go happen. She admired that about him, his determination, his refusal to be a kept man. But as the weeks passed, Anita knew there was part of her she could no longer hide. One evening, as they sat on his small balcony, Stanley had prepared roasted corn and pear, the simple delicacy reminding Anita of her childhood. Stanley, she began, her voice low. He turned to her, sensing the weight in her words. Wetin be that, my love? She hesitated, but the guilt was unbearable. There is something I need to tell you. Okay, tell you, they talk. With a trembling voice, she poured her heart out. She told him about her past, the wealthy men who had funded her lifestyle, the lavish gifts, the parties, the expensive vacations. They spoke of the nights she spent with sugar daddies, how she convinced herself it was mere survival. Stanley didn't flinch. He listened, his eyes never leaving hers. I was scared, Stanley. I had nothing growing up. My parents struggled to feed us. I became the breadwinner at a young age, sending my siblings to school, paying hospital bills, keeping my family afloat. Tears swelled up in her eyes. I hated it, but I did what I had to do. And then I met you. His hands cupped her face, his tongue brushing away her tears. Anita, I like you. No be your past go be wetin no go make me like you. Both your past your the mistake your today your tomorrow your yesterday I like all of them. As you dey here with me like this, I dey happy. Nothing again dey matter to me. She sobbed into his chest, the weight finally lifting. For the first time, she felt free. Their love grew stronger. Stanley then insisted on Anita meeting his family. I want make my family see the woman wey I don dey date. I wan make you meet my family, he said with a smile. Anita was nervous but excited. She imagined a modest family just like Stanley, kind, humble, and loving. Like you, and I know say my mama go like you, he assured her. My family dey a bit old fashioned but I know say once they see you, see say you dey make me happy, they go accept you. Anita smiled. I hope so too. As they approached the compound, she noticed the house was much bigger than she expected. It was extravagant, well maintained, a small garden, and a freshly painted gate. Your father lives here? Are you sure? Anita asked, surprised. Yes, he hustled well well. They stepped inside and a wave of familiarity washed over Anita. The large living room, the brown leather couch, the gold accented curtains. It was similar to a place she had been before. Then, from the hallway, a man emerged, tall, sturdy, with a commanding presence and a smile that quickly turned into shock. Anita had stopped. Chief, she whispered, her voice barely audible. The man froze, his eyes widening. It was Chief Benson, one of her former sugar daddies. Stanley beamed, unaware of the tension that filled the room. Papa, meet Anita, the love of my life. Chief Benson face paled. He stammered, his eyes darting between Stanley and Anita. Anita, You know my father? Her leg trembled. The hair felt suffocating. The memories came flooding back. The luxurious hotels, the expensive gifts. She opened her mouth, but no word came out. She Benson's voice was low, filled with disbelief. Stanley frowned. What's going on, Papa? But Anita already knew. Her past had caught up with her. The room was suffocating with silence. While Stanley confused eyes darted towards his father and Anita. What's going on? Stanley's voice cracked. Papa! Anita! Chief Benson swallowed hard. His demeanor shaken. Stanley, step outside now. But Stanley shook his head, frustration building. No, I deserve to know this. What is this all about? Anita's leg felt weak. She looked at Stanley. Did you just speak good English? Are you who you told me you are? Is there something you are hiding away from me? She looked at Stanley with confusion. Then every memory with Chief Benson flashed across her mind. The designer bag, the lavish dinner, the guilt she had buried. Now it was all staring at her in the face. I knew your father, Anita finally said, her voice barely above a whisper. Stanley frown deepened. You knew him? How? Anita couldn't hold back her tears. She forced herself to meet his gaze. He was he was one of the men I used to see, she confessed, her voice cracking. One of the men who sponsored my lifestyle. The word hit Stanley like a thunderbolt. He staggered back, his mouth slightly open, disbelief across his face. What are you saying, Anita? I'm sorry, she whispered, tears streaming down her face. I never knew it was your father. I swear, Stanley. I I don't know. And you hate this far away from me. I thought you are just a poor mechanic. I don't know you of this man. Stanley, you lied to me. You lied to me. She Benson's voice cut her short. Stanley, I think it's best you leave this woman alone. Papa, stop. Stanley's voice cracked. You are not innocent in this either. You used women like Anita, took advantage of their desperation, and now you stand here acting righteous? If Benson's face hardened, I did what I did. But I will not allow my son to marry a woman from my past. The word stung. Anita sobbed grew louder as she collapsed onto the couch. Stanley, she pleaded, I love you. I know I made mistakes, but I love you, please. Believe me, I love you. I'm sorry. I need time, he finally said. I can't think right now. Without another word, Stanley stormed out of the house. Anita chased after him, begging for his forgiveness. Days turned into weeks, and Anita's world crumbled. She tried calling Stanley, but he never picked up. She sent messages, poured her heart out in long voice notes, but the only response she got was silence. Chief Benson, however, had made it clear she was to stay away from his son. Anita's once glamorous life had lost its luster. The designer bags and expensive shoes were meaningless. She didn't want the world riches if Stanley wasn't by her side. Her mother noticed the change. Even her siblings grew concerned, but Anita kept the truth hidden, bearing the weight of her broken heart alone until one afternoon. Her phone rang. It was Stanley. We need to talk, he said simply. They met at a quiet rundown park, the same one where Stanley had once bought her roasted corn and pear. His eyes were red, as though he hadn't slept for days. Anita's heart broke at the sight of him. Stanley, I love you, Anita. He cut her off. His voice was thick with emotion. I tried to hate you. I tried to convince myself that what we had wasn't real. But I can't. I love you and I will always will, Anita. I'm sorry I disguised myself all this while. I'm actually from a very rich family. But being through so much heartbreaks, I decided to disguise myself as a mechanic so I could get true love. And now I'm heartbroken. I regret making this decision. Anita tears floats freely. Please, Stanley, let's make this right. Let's leave the past behind. I will stand by you, Stanley. Just give me a chance, please. I do love you, please, Stanley. I've forgiven you. I will not judge you. But please, don't judge me too, please. He shook his head. Stanley shook his head slowly. It's not that simple. Anita, why? Why? Every time I look at you, I see my father. His voice cracked. The man who made a mockery of love. I thought I would escape his shadow, but now it haunts me, Anita. Anita collapsed into sob. She wanted to fight for him, to promise that time would heal them. But deep down, she knew some wound could never be mended. I can't marry you, Anita, Stanley whispered, his voice breaking. I'm sorry. And with that, he walked away, leaving Anita shattered. Months later, Anita heard the news. Stanley was getting married. The betrayal stung, but Anita couldn't even find the strength to be angry. Life has dealt her with cards, and she had no choice but to accept them. At the wedding, she stood at a distance watching the man she had once dreamed of calling her husband. Stanley's smile was genuine, but his eyes, they lacked the spark they once held. She wondered if he ever thought of her, if in the middle of the night, memories of their laughter, their stolen kisses, and whispered promises still haunted him. But Anita held her head high. The past would always remain a part of her, but it would no longer define her. But as she walked away from the crowd, she whispered to herself, I will find love again.